Matt, I'm not sure there's any words that can sum that up, but I'm leading the game for so long in both halves, and then in the last 3 minutes of each half conceding tries that eventually lost the game.
Yeah, I don't think there was certainly the try in the second half, the winning try a minute from the end. There ain't another team in this league that'll score like that. That try would have probably been befitting of a Super League game, wouldn't it? A Challenge Cup final. The amount of skill it took probably to offload that ball 3 or 4 times in the conditions were, you've got to take it off to them a little bit. But the boys are absolutely mortified down there, absolutely devastated to be within literally one play, one tackle of winning a game against a team like that, a team that's been absolutely dominated this league all year. But the boys played the conditions absolutely brilliantly. Our skill level was tremendous. Something that I've been critical of this year. I thought to have our completion rate must have been out there in the high 70s, 80s to do that under these conditions without just going into a one-out game. We shifted the ball about, we asked some questions. Absolutely fantastic. The boys tipped everything at that. I couldn't ask any more of them, and they don't deserve what's just happened to them out there at all.
Looking at once they got the tries, did they go into the shell a little bit and just try and tackle the game out when they got in front? Because the conditions were horrendous all day, and it didn't really. It was not going to be conducive to really good open rugby, was it?
No, I think we played the conditions. I think we did what we needed to do. I don't think we just went into our shells. I think we still asked questions. We still moved the ball. But ultimately we needed to get metres away from our line, which is what we've done, and we've done it all year. We've had no problems, but I can't overstate it. The boys were fantastic. I thought they did everything that they needed to do and could have done to win that game. In a game like that, I said before the game, we're probably going to need somebody to pull a try-saving tackle off, somebody to scramble, somebody to do something extra, and I think they did that in absolute spades out there. You sometimes need those 50-50 calls to go your way, and there were probably a few of those went against us in the first half, resulting in penalties and us having to soak up a lot of pressure on our line, which we did, and as I said, there were blokes putting the bodies on the line all the time, but just ultimately wasn't quite enough.
Jimmy Watson pulled off a try-saving tackle in the middle of that second half, and the longer the half went on, it was almost as though Toulouse was starting to panic a little bit and getting into the French flair of having to sling the ball around, and unfortunately there wasn't enough mistakes really to turn possession over. They kept hold of the ball as well, didn't they? Well,
they didn't in the first half, and we knew that happened because the kind of game they play is a little bit of an off-the-cuff type game. They try and play off the back of quick play the balls and stuff like that. So I knew, or I had an idea that they wouldn't be able to rein that in. If you'll pardon the pun, they wouldn't be able to stop doing that. So I knew that we'd pick up some possession, which is what happened in the first half, and they still kept doing it in the second half. And sometimes when you're playing that off-the-cuff manner, it works, and the fact that the ball's pinging around gets a defensive line unstructured, but most of the time I thought we handled it pretty well and defended really well. Yeah, we rode our luck, and Jimmy's pulled off some great defensive efforts, as Jake Normanton and Muffy did down here as well, and blokes just working for each other and working hard, and as I say, they didn't deserve that. It's absolutely devastating for them.
Was that the best performance of the season, do you think?
I think it's probably the gutsiest, certainly the most effort that I think they've put, or the most commitment that they've shown. Not that we've had some uncommitted displays, but to go out there and do that against a team like that have got 4 or 5 players in there that have probably played NRL, they've got internationals, there's a lot of good players out there, and yes, the conditions were a little bit of a leveler, but we still needed to score points, and it's just so disappointing.
But it was a bit of a high in the performance-wise, even if the result didn't go our way. But for the last home match of the season, there was a real gutsy performance, as you say. And I know coaches look more at performance sometimes than results, and that was there today.
Well, yeah, the performance as a whole, it probably was as good as we've been. York 2 weeks ago were a great performance in a different kind of way. The conditions were totally different, but the performance was probably right up there, top drawer, and I've just thanked all the players for their efforts in there, because I felt like that was like a personal kind of thing, that they'd gone out there and done that, because I asked them to do certain things a little bit different to what we usually do, and they went out there and did it. And you've got blokes, as I say, you've got blokes flying in there putting their bodies in places that they shouldn't really do, and it's just, I know I keep saying it, but it's just absolutely mortifying that they've come up just that little bit short. You know, there's 17 blocks down there that are distraught. You know, along with the staff and everybody as well, and it shows where we're at. The way that Toulouse celebrated that victory when they scored that try, that they knew they'd been in a game, and they'll be going back on that plane thinking that they've probably dodged a bullet and got away with a little bit today.
Last match of the season next week against Rochdale away. How do you view that one, and can the guys get back up for it? Because we saw Hull, I know it's after a Challenge Cup, but a really physical game. You haven't got the resources to move people around, so next week they've got to back it up.
Well, they've got 3 months off after that, so I would imagine they'll be alright doing that. But no, we don't have the resources, we don't have the massive squad. But if whoever we put out on the park shows that kind of commitment, that kind of effort, there's every chance we'll turn Rochdale over next week. There is still a mathematical situation where we could still have something to play for next week. You know, with a point behind York, if York don't get any points this weekend and next week when they play Doncaster, then there might well be something to play for. So we've just got to cling on to that hope. But we'll prepare. We'll prepare as though it's a meaningful game and a game that we want to win, because we want to finish the season on a high. The players will be fine. They'll get themselves up for it. I've got no worries about that.
All right. Well done, and thanks very much for this season.